So I guess in my career I've spent about 20 years researching the meanings, the practices and the consequences of children's engagement with what seems like a constantly changing array of new media. The more children go online, the more they do there, the more they gain digital skills, the more online opportunities they enjoy, and the more risk of harm they encounter. Rather than asking technologically determinist questions, what impact does the internet have on X, Y, or Z? It invites us to ask more contextually meaningful questions, starting perhaps with children's learning or their play or their development. We can ask, what difference does the digital make? So scholars such as David Finkelhor, whose statistics I show here, has argued that children's overall need for protection has not increased because of the internet, but rather the internet has become one of the pathways by which abuse and problems are mediated. So it reconfigures, if you like, but it doesn't increase the need for child protection. If we move to the second P, participation, we also have by now a good body of research on children's rights to participation in the digital age. And here I would point to work on the ways in which children connect and collaborate and network peer-to-peer. So here I see fewer arguments, perhaps, about whether the internet is reconfiguring rights and more about how to manage the clash of competing rights, which most often clash between the right to protection and the right to participation. So Harvard historian Samuel Moyn observes there is no way to move from announcing formal entitlements to securing real conditions for their enjoyment without facing the different and difficult possible pathways and controversial political choices. My last P, provision. So here too, the field of media and communication and other fields, especially across the social sciences, have been conducting a lot of relevant research to help us understand children's rights to provision in the digital age. I'm okay. Yeah. In Isaiah Berlin's terms, we can see children's protection rights as a case of negative freedom. For example, children should be free from sexual or violent abuse, and negative freedoms are often less controversial than positive ones because they seek to remove harms according to a minimalist approach to rights. So I've used the 3 Ps of the Convention on the Rights of the Child to show how the translation of social science evidence into a child rights framework raises some key challenges about the harms that underpin protection rights, the agency that underpins participation rights, and the needs that underpin provision rights. And the internet is fundamentally a global network. So now children's rights, which have historically been the responsibility of the state, are being mediated by a system that escapes national jurisdiction, except perhaps US jurisdiction, again to a historically unprecedented degree. So we face the paradox that the strongest advocates for internet rights and freedoms in the space of internet governance are often the most reluctant to acknowledge the rights of the 1/3 of the world's population who are children. By contrast, I've argued that the full array of children's rights in the digital age should be recognised and supported. This goes well beyond a focus on protection to include also participation and provision rights. And addressing these challenges requires a truly global process of dialogue and deliberation. And this dialogue must include children's voices and experiences too.